President Joe Biden greeted his South Korean counterpart Yoon Suk Yeol for a state visit at the White House. The high-stakes visit comes amid heightened tensions with North Korea and China. The two presidents are expected to sign an agreement that includes plans to have U.S. nuclear-armed submarines dock in South Korea. A military guard of honor and hundreds massed outside the White House as Yoon and his wife arrived for a day of pomp and ceremony and far-reaching geostrategic discussions. Standing alongside Yoon, Biden lauded what he called the unbreakable bond of the country's ironclad alliance, forged in the Korean War 7 decades ago. Ahead of Yoon's arrival, senior U.S. officials said that the two leaders would announce measures to reinforce deterrence against North Korea. This will include the first deployment of a U.S. nuclear missile submarine to the country in over 4 decades. What will be known as the Washington Declaration will also create a U.S.-South Korean consultative group. This will give Seoul more information and input on nuclear policy, although Washington will retain sole command of its weapons. North Korea's rapidly advancing weapons program, threatening not just South Korea but also the U.S. It has raised questions about whether the U.S. will go all out to defend South Korea or not. The upcoming arrangement echoes moves last seen when Washington oversaw the defense of Europe against the Soviet Union. All of this comes amid ever-growing tensions over North Korea's missile and nuclear arsenal. The officials stressed that there are no plans to station U.S. nuclear weapons in South Korea. In addition, Seoul will reiterate its pledge in the declaration not to seek its own nuclear arsenal. In addition to regular visits by ballistic nuclear submarines, the officials said there will be a regular cadence of other major platforms, including bombers or aircraft carriers. The agreed steps fall short of what some in South Korea have called for. They are also unlikely to alter the direction of North Korea's own nuclear program, but they could allow Yoon Suk Yeol to argue to his domestic audience that Washington is taking South Korea's concerns seriously. Our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us live with the latest updates on this. Susan, we saw Joe Biden looking charged during his address at the White House, standing next to his South Korean counterpart. It's his first meeting with a head of state since declaring his 2024 re-election bid. What can we expect from their meet, and what would be the centerpiece of Yoon Suk Yeol's visit to the U.S.?
Yeah, so 3 main concerns that we're going to hear ultimately about this landmark meeting. First, it's going to be, of course, the issue of Ukraine, then trade regarding semiconductors and electric vehicles. And then the main centerpiece, as you mentioned and described, is that nuclear agreement between the two sides. And you talked about, what it entails. But, there are 2 issues with this agreement. One is that, as you rightly mentioned, it's going to reassure the South Korean population who in polls have indicated they desire to have their own nukes. But on the other hand, it will also reverse the commitment, the longstanding commitment, at least from the time of the Obama administration, to reduce the rule of nuclear weapons in American defense strategy. So those are the key takeaways from what this centerpiece, this nuclear agreement, really entails.
Thank you, Susan, for all those updates. That was Susan Tehrani joining us live from New York.